Hey everyone, as you can see, my JPS Suby Coupe has been delivered and is now tucked safely into the garage. I wanted to take a few minutes and maybe to go over and look a little more closely at some of the options that I upgraded the car to that I didn't get a chance in the last video. We'll start here on the front. As you can see, and like I said in the last video, I opted out of having the hood handle installed here. I just went with a single Porsche emblem. I thought it was that look was very clean. I really liked the curves of the body, and I just sort of thought that handle sort of distracted from that. I also did not go with the bumper overriders for the same reason. I really enjoy the lines of the body, and I thought the bumper overriders sort of detracted from that. As we move around the car, I opted to go with the solid billet rims on the car. I have the capability of putting hubcaps on, as you can see here, but I sort of wanted the outlaw look, so I've opted to not put the hubcaps on. Went ahead and went with the dust cover, and then underneath the dust covers I've got four-wheel disc brakes all the way around. I didn't go with big, 4-piston Bremos or anything. I went with single piston disc brakes. I don't plan on racing it, and for a car that weighs as little as this one does, the single pistons seem to work just fine. If you move around, as you can see the mirror, I had an option of putting the mirror up here on the fender. I didn't like the way it looked, so I put the mirrors on the doors, and I've got another one on the other side over there. I can see very well out of this one. The one on the far side's a little challenging, but it'll do fine. Give you another look at the billet rims that are on there. And then as we walk around the back of the car, from my previous video, get you another look at the motor. This is a EJ254 4-cam 2.5 liter Subaru. Out Front Motorsports up in Hollywood, up in LA, built it. They warmed it over. It's 230 horsepower is what it turned on a dyno, so it's plenty of horsepower for this little car. It's made it up to a Rancho Pro Suby transmission. It's their own concoction of gears. We went with the 388 ring and pinion for highway, and then they've changed the ratios of first through fourth based on the torque of the motor. So it works very well. I got an AC. And then, as you can see, all the electronics in here that run the engine management system. I'll give you a look up here of the exhaust up underneath. It seems to be very well. I think if I had to do it over, the only thing I would do different is maybe have the exhaust coated, aluminum coated. But I think for what it is, it's gonna be just fine. We walk around. We'll take a look on the inside of the car. So when you order one of these, the seats come leather standard. I opted to go with a full leather interior, which included the door panels and the dash, and then all the panels up in the back, as well as the gear shifter and the emergency brake. I really didn't like the vinyl, and for the little extra we spent on the leather, I thought it was a very good investment. As we come inside the car, turn the key on. So one of the options we added was heated seats. Both sides have heated seats that work very well. A little creature comfort while you're in the car on a cool morning with the windows down. Obviously you got to cruise with the windows down to be cool in this car, so we added that. Pretty standard for these cars. They come with power windows, pretty standard. They seem to work very well. And then I opted to have the clock installed. So we paid a little extra to have the clock installed, but this part of the dash just seemed to look, it looked like it needed a clock. The clock just belongs there. And then as we move over, it's got a good set of gauges on it. It's got an 8,000 RPM tach. And then we move over to the oil temp and tank temp. Now the oil temperature is now water temperature. And the tank, it's got about a 13-gallon tank in it that seems to run That seems to be just fine for the size of this car. I think it's getting 23 to 24 miles a gallon if I stay out of it, so it's adequate. As I said in the last video, I opted for a Pioneer. I'm not sure. I think it's a PRX 80 head unit. It works great. Gives me some Bluetooth capability. I end up with a microphone where I can talk wireless on the phone in the car. You come with this little remote control. I don't think I'll ever use it, so I just stuck some Velcro on it, and it seems to stay put right on the carpet there, and I don't have to chase it all over the place. As you can see, it's got a little glove box in it. It's not, I mean, it's made to hold probably a pair of gloves, not much more. And then it's got an air conditioning and heating unit here. So basically it's got hot water heat, air conditioning. Here's your temperature control. You turn it all the way down, it turns the AC on. But it's a pretty powerful unit. The AC will freeze you out of here. I was very, very surprised at how cold the AC blows in here. So it seems to work very well. But all in all, the interiors, I really enjoy the way the interior looks. And of course, it's got the classic Porsche steering wheel with the emblem on the horn button. So very, very well laid out. I do need to get me a set of floor mats in here very quickly. So that'll be the next thing that I get. Let's get out and take a look at the car. Car showed up last week. It had been in the paint shop recently, so it showed up with some buffing compounds and stuff over it. So I removed all the remnant of the buffing compounds and ended up putting one coat of reload onto it, and man, it just completely changed the way it looked. The car is absolutely as slick as a piece of glass right now. So I'm really pleased on how that turned out. As we're sitting here on the front, I'll give you a look at the headlights. So I opted to go all LED lights on the car. The only lights that are not LED are the little running lights here inside there, which at some point I may upgrade to LED, but for now it's okay. In addition, I also added the LED turn signals on the front. I just felt it gave, the days of the old dim lit Beetles are over for me, and seeing great at night, and you can surely do that with these LEDs, is a good way to go for me. Walk around here, look at the back. As you can see, the back's got LEDs on it also. They're very bright. As well as it's got a license plate light on it. Then we walk around and look inside. The dash gauges are, the classic green tint. It still has the two dummy lights, and they've sort of set them up for the alternator and then the other for the oil pressure. So, and then as you can see, the bright, it's got brights here, and the brights built here into the handle. It's got some warning lights on this side, but they don't use them, and at some point in the future I may use them for something else, but for right now they're sitting blank. I wanted to give you a look up underneath the front of the car. So they ended up putting the radiator and the condenser and everything up front. So I'll give you a look up under here. So I'm not sure if you can see, but they've added, you can see the radiator and condensers are up here, and they've added this little scoop on here to help direct air up inside there. You can also see it's got a large sway bar on the front, some KYB shocks, and then you can see the disc brakes. The rear also has a very large diameter sway bar on it, KYBs on that side of it also. And what I'll do is I wanted to give you a chance to listen to the exhaust on it. I'm gonna set the camera down and then start it up and give you guys a chance to listen to the exhaust. As you can hear, the Subaru exhaust, the Subaru motor with the exhaust is gives you a really good rumble, but it's very good, very smooth running and reliable. And it's one of the reasons I went with the Subaru motor. I just didn't want to fool with tinkering with the air cooled. So that's a quick overview of the car. Got any questions? Leave them down in the comments. I'll try to get to them. Until my next video.